of us, this wallet, whenever we take money out, it's into our mouth. We never take money out of this into our head. And the world has changed so much so that information dies out every 6 months. Whatever you know today, look, I've taught change management for some time. If I'm to teach this same subject next month, the information I'll give you will be different because the system would have changed. Guys, the times we are in must help us to question the status quo. I want us to look at the barriers to change management. There are 4 barriers that all of us must pay attention to. Okay? Now, let me say this. For many of our junior, let me use the word employees. For many of our team members, we are to understand the vision and to make it a reality, except that we are boxed in. So what are some of the factors that militate against change management? Effective change management processes. Ladies and gentlemen, the first one is formal structures that make it impossible to act or to innovate. This is number one. This is the number one barrier to effective change management. The policy says so, and it ends there. It's almost as if man was made for the law rather than the law for man. So in Ghana now, they are debating about the constitution that we have used since 1992. And the constitution is no more responsive to our dynamic times. But anybody who is campaigning today says, when I go in there, I would amend it. The moment they go there, they don't, because it's working in their favor. Guys, the times we are in must help us to question the status quo. That's why I said earlier when I said, whenever we are doing changes, we must also be conscious of the things that we must endure. We must have to keep them. But what are the structures we have in place today that have become barriers to the changes that we want to bring about? And if we don't address them, we're not going to have the full impact of the change that we want to see. It's like somebody who says, I want to reduce my size. But anytime he sees ice cream, oh, this one is just a taste. So you want to reduce your size, but the things that will make you reduce the size, you're not doing it. That's what we are doing here. That's what is causing barriers to our change. Are we together? He says, I want to be able to get up every morning and trot, but 5 o'clock the alarm rings. Let me see, it's cold. Then he sleeps again. So the first barrier, and this has been proved empirically, the first barrier are the structures that has worked for us in the past. But today, all of us know they are no longer giving us the speed that we need. Change the structures, the people working in the structures cannot change. That's the first barrier. I don't know the system in terms of the structure that has to be changed here, but that is the barrier that we need to look at. Because we are working with 2 factors: new generation of staff and a new customer. Today, a lot of the HR practices are being overhauled. Many of them. So that's the first barrier. The second barrier is bosses who discourage actions aimed at implementing the new vision. And in some companies, what they say is different from what they do from the top. And once you have that kind of scenario, the change can never be effected. Are we together? So if we are talking about implementing changes, the change must start with us as leaders. It's a major barrier. So when you tell your subordinates or your junior members, when you meet the customer, smile. And you, the manager, you meet the customer, you don't smile. You are communicating one thing but doing another thing. It's a barrier. Personnel and HR related issues and information systems that make it difficult to act. A lot of the HR practices in many organizations are cake. They are for the generation, the traditional generation and the millennials. They don't work for the generation X and Y people. These X and Y guys don't care about the uniforms you are talking about here. He wants to come to work in jeans. You want to say, look, can I, what do you need to be done? You say, okay, I want this, okay, can I deliver it to you, but leave me to deliver it the time you want it. As to where I deliver it from, please, allow me. Of course, it is industry dependent anyway. You can't work in a hotel like this. You want to come to work in jeans and tie, in jeans and t-shirt. You work like a chimpanzee. Yeah. Which room do you say you want to book? Yeah. Did you say you want 2 days or what? And then you are standing there as if you are talking to your girlfriend. Did you say you want 2 days or what? How many nights are you going to stay, man? No, it doesn't work. It cannot work. It cannot work. So every industry has its own culture. But what I'm saying is that the culture must take into consideration the generation that you are working with. I will show you a bit. It's not part of what we are doing now. I did it for another company, but I'll show you a bit about it. The generations has changed. That people cannot work in an environment where, when you are, you not come to my office. He just can't. He just enters. Because he doesn't understand why. And then you work in an office where everybody's in his room, you lock and key. When you're coming, you knock. No. They want a flat office like this, where everybody can walk through somebody's desk and say, hey, how you doing, buddy? Then you come back with this tea and then working, blah, blah, blah. Of course, industry dependent. The generations have changed. So, the third one is HR-related issues. Let me tell you frankly, listen to me. Now, people want to work in an organization where they know that the profit, when we make it, we cannot get a share out of that profit. Yes, they get their salaries are all right, but what about the bonus? I'm not saying that's what you must do, but I'm saying that it's part of the HR issues that are coming up. The final one, the fourth barrier, ladies and gentlemen, is a lack of needed skills that undermine action due to inadequate training. And I think for Sheraton Hotel, you don't have that problem because you have training constantly. But please, you can look at all these things from an institutional standpoint. But as managers, I want to urge you, look at these barriers from a personalized standpoint as well. How have you framed your lifestyle that is militating changes in your life from the standpoint of structures? What systems have you created around yourself? How do you manage your time? Who are your friends? Who are the people in your inner circle that is driving you to make it impossible for you to innovate? Some of you, I don't remember the last time you took money from your pocket and bought a book to put your brain. But the brain is as dark as the day God put it in your brains. So the structures you have put around you is also making it impossible of it. Then you have put yourself among certain group of people who have different goals other than the goal that you have for your professional career. That is going to militate your change. All right? And then your skills, you don't upgrade. But you see, let me tell you, please, who has a wallet here? You have the man who has a wallet? A wallet? Wallet. Give me your wallet. I'll show you something. Wallet. Arua, give me wallet. Oh, come on, give me your wallet. Okay, now listen. You know what we put in this? We put money in this, right? Many of us, this wallet, whenever we take money out, it's into our mouth. We never take money out of this into our head. But when you put this wallet, if you empty this wallet into your head will fill back the wallet and open a bank account for you. And the world has changed so much so that information dies out every 6 months. Whatever you know today, look, I've taught change management for some time. Today, if I'm to teach this same subject next month, the information I'll give you will be different because the system would have changed. So please be mindful of your profession. You are not working for Sheraton. You are a CEO of your own company. Diana is the CEO of Diana Incorporated. So if Diana doesn't add value to her company, the company will become irrelevant. That's a fact. And this thing here becomes a barrier, and we must change it at our level. That is why you must not keep the wallet just putting food in your. And then some of you will go. Some people will spend 200,000 putting hairdos on their head, and yet they will never buy a book of 10,000 shillings and read. Like I told you, why do you drive a Mercedes that has a border engine in it? So you look like a Mercedes, but the brain is border. Please, do you understand the point I'm making? So you need to go back to your, I think most of you are below 50 here, most of you, you have a lot of years ahead of you. And please let me tell you, the years ahead of you are going to be tougher. No, I'm not kidding you. It's going to be tougher. Look at the World Bank projections that they have just released from just 2 days ago. The global economy is going to sink. The growth rate is going to be between 3 to 4% globally. So you can't joke with your professional life any longer. You need to be serious. Unless, of course, you're okay. You know that some people, when they get one increment, they're fine. I mean, after all, we are going to die. Why must I struggle too much? But if that's your attitude, then that's fine. Then all that we are doing here, you don't need it. Because you see, you just want to survive. But there's more room for improvement. You don't want to be a GM one day. You don't want to be a GM one day. Not that because you want to take his job. He will not be Methuselah. I mean, let's face it. So if you are not aiming at improving to go up, then why are you here?